these were a group of actual freshmen and sophomores. So they conducted interviews and they followed a student throughout the mall while she shopped for a day.
You feel the need to come to the mall and shop every Friday. Can you tell me why you feel that? Because I work hard. I mean, I study every night. I wake up early, so I just feel like on Fridays I can treat myself with an outfit or get my hair done, get my nails done, treat myself out to dinner.
But their whole idea was the fact that this was not her money, right? The fact that one, shopping is a leisure activity, and so college students have this lot of discretionary income, and so here they followed this one student and this one day of shopping, of not using her money, and at the end you'll see that she spent $700 in the whole time that they followed this subject around. Yes, it was this was for real. She actually spent $700 at that mall. I didn't even know. I didn't know there was $700 worth of stuff that you would really want to buy.
They call it college.
Yeah. So but they made the whole discussion of why. Okay. So and they raised the question of, if this was her money, would she have spent this much? It's the fact that it was her parents, that she felt fine with that, the fact that she gets money on a weekly basis from her parents and so on. So this was definitely a high level, this is a research study, but it's conducted by freshmen and sophomores, but the video element allows for the undergraduate student, in particular freshmen and sophomores, to really understand the research or the application of research in a lot of different ways, and then transfer it into a paper. Because once they do a video, now they can understand how to then break down and write a complex paper, a research study paper, as opposed to just opening up with a research paper where they couldn't figure it out. Yes, Alan.
Well, it seems like for a long time we've struggled with the issue of social desirability, meaning that the respondent can flavor the answer or response in a particular way. These types of technologies now suggest to me that the recorder can flavor the response, and so what we're seeing might not be representative of reality, or how the big picture looks, at least in any sense. We get the picture according to the recorder and what they want to show us.
You're absolutely correct, and so then that's why far you go through these areas, these levels of questioning, not only of yourself as the developer or the person that's set the design, but also the subject, and also your audience. That's why you go through these levels of questions, and also to rate, at least present those questions back at the end, so you're trying to be as honest and transparent in how you're conducting the research and the questions that are raised. That we were clearly looking for shopping. We were clearly looking for somebody that possibly could spend a lot of money, and so we have to be honest with that fact. But however, it still does not make the discussion less valuable to us in terms of looking at this phenomenon.
So what you're suggesting is that you have methods by which you try to manage. You have what we call control subjects, which is true with any research.
Yeah.
You have feedback loops and methodologies within the whole process that try to control subjectivity.
Yeah, I mean, and in this case, of course, this is so I couldn't really show you a larger project that probably is a little bit better in terms of going through the whole relationship between different subjects and so on. I think that this at least begins the process for freshmen and sophomores in particular to understand subjects, understand the development of research questions, or that whole process. So for me, I would probably never, of course, start off in this way. But the elements of it still could be used by me.
I mean, you have the flip side too, is her giving you the desired response that she thinks you want.
Yeah.
But that's
that's always the case.
It's the case.
That's always the case.
Always the case.
I was forgetting something. I don't remember it. But anyways, so you see how it's used both in terms of pedagogy, in terms of class, but you see the potential of how it can be used and also in the field as a researcher, so not as a group of students. For example, for myself and co-founder, we actually are completing a study of students' projects in there and talking about how they perceive the whole process. So that's our study, is their perception of the process of conducting research. Right.
So, say you wanted to record pre-literate societies, what would you think would be the challenges of using visual representations to capture pre-literate societies' oral traditions, in a sense? I mean, knowing that their past and their present is infused to the current context of adjustment of the story. I mean, so when you start to use writing like as a technology and then videotaping as a visual representation, I mean, how does that negatively or positively impact the orality of pre-literate societies?
Well, some of those questions I think are raised within anthropology, so I think that's one of the things I want to get into next in terms of consideration, which is you can't just pick up this and then just go and apply it anywhere. Right? So, for example, if you're dealing with populations that don't even value these instruments and materials, you have to sort of recognize that sort of disconnect between yourself and what the subjects sort of operate on. They're not performing, they don't know what to do when you click on record, and so on.
Or just, understanding, even in present context, semiotic signs and the concept those would hold between different people, different groups, and what that actually represents to those people or yourself.
Trying to get it back up. But yeah. So I'll get to that in one second when we get to future considerations, right? So let me just finish this part in terms of methods, all right, first. So this is what I was alluding to, which was understanding that these methods are not, you can't just pick them up, and they're not disconnected from certain type of principles or focuses. So you can't just pick up visual analysis and then just go into your study. You have to understand that when you pick it up, there's a certain sort of understandings and so on. So for example, you need to understand that there's a theoretical underpinning to each method, or there's a theoretical underpinning to all of visual methodologies. Next, then, we need to understand that there's certain fields of disciplines that are tied to each of these methods. So, for example, with ethnography, anthropology is so much ingrained within that. Even though I think our public health counterparts sort of different, is because they've developed a more modified, ethnography. They have the whole concept of rapid ethnographic process, right? But if we understand ethnography, then how do you do a rapid ethnography? You can do a more expanded observation, but is it really a rapid? How can you do one summer in immersion? And these are questions that you raise. So this is what I'm saying is you have to be careful with, and take into account. So going back to this, and there's things that I'm not familiar with personally, but I would know that if you're talking about going to another culture in another country, you cannot just pick up the video camera and just go and say that you're doing visual methodology. Okay. So in terms of future considerations, this was also again from the special issue as part of, I like the phrase that they stated, as part of repositioning visual leisure has a tremendous potential to democratize research. Through an expanded accessibility of data, so the visual materials allow a number of people to sort of access the data, understand it. That they're not just saying literally being able to open up the journal and read it, but now with the visual imagery along with the text, somehow there's a greater understanding of what the text is saying. And enhanced transparency of argument. So this goes into the question that you were raising, Alan, which is you're now making what you're trying to argue for, say, a lot clearer, if that is the approach that you're trying to take in research. So you are putting your position out there. I'm looking at student shopping because clearly I have a question about it. I'm not just trying to explore it, I'm not trying to see if it's existing. I clearly have a position how I see student shopping, positively or negatively. And also an empowerment of lay people in research-based policy and planning process. If you solicit photographs, for example, a photo solicitation,